There's a fair amount of vocabulary in section 10.4 that I would like to address and go over. So we'll try to be quick about it. First is what we call a secant. A secant line is simply a line that passes through a circle. You are going to find these definitions on page 459 in your book. It might be a good idea to have those pages out so you can actually write down the definition. And they have pictures there on the page. But sometimes Geometry Sketchpad does a nice job because it's dynamic for you to understand just exactly how these figures interplay. So this is a secant line. Notice the secant line will pass through the circle. A secant line will always contain a chord of the circle. If I pull it out, now it's not a secant line. That is not a secant line. It's got to be an intersecting the circle. So basically we're looking today at some terminology of different figures that intersect circles. That is a secant line. A secant segment is this. It's just you can see it's a segment. It's not a line, but it still intersects the circle and contains a chord. So we contain a chord. This is not a secant segment right here. It's got to be containing a chord of the circle. So this is a secant segment. And then we have different parts of the secant segment. This is the exterior. This is the exterior part of the secant segment. Well, it's outside, and this would be the interior. Okay? So that's secants. Tangent. What does tangent look like? This is a tangent line right here. A tangent line touches the circle in one spot, only in one point, only has one point of contact with the circle. So you can see that is only the line and the circle share one point. This right here is not, sorry, we'll get to that, not a tangent segment here. Here's a tangent segment. A tangent segment is a segment, just like I don't have arrows on either end. And it also just has one point in contact with the circle. I want to show you what is not a tangent segment. This is not. Notice that if this segment were extended, we would be passing through the circle, and it would be a secant segment. So notice that this is not. We would not call this a tangent segment. This is a tangent segment. Okay. If this tangent segment here were extended, it would pass through and it would be a tangent line. It only intersects the circle at one point. So try to process that. Okay, we can have circles that are tangent. So these are internally tangent circles. So notice this circle, there's a circle inside, that's where internally comes from. And the circles only have one point in common. We would call these two circles tangent, and more specifically, we would call them internally tangent. That would be different than externally tangent. Here's externally tangent. Two circles that have one point in common externally, because they are outside of one another. This is a tangent line to both of those. Let's be clear on what is not tangent. We do not consider these circles tangent. They have more than one point of intersection. Okay. Now, they might be tangent now, or externally tangent now, but for the most part here they are not tangent because they contain 2 points of contact. So that's the concept of tangent. Think touch with tangent, just touch. Okay, and finally, common tangents. These two circles have a common tangent line. That tangent line is in contact at one point with this circle and with one point in that circle. Okay? Notice how these are going to interplay. I could slide this over. Those two circles could be tangent, but they might not be tangent. The circles, these two circles, may not be tangent, but they are tangent to a common line. We would say internal. We would use the description internal because this line is going in between these two circles. That's going to be different than this, where we still have a common tangent between two circles, but notice that the tangent is not going in between them, but is going outside them. So we call this a common external tangent. So basically the circles are on the same side of the tangent line for a common external tangent, and internal tangent, they are on either side of the tangent line. Okay, so secants and tangents, some important definitions to consider. So hopefully this helps you as you process the pictures in the book and the definitions in the book. Be sure to get these down in your green definition books with pictures. And that's it. Thanks.